Today I have the good, the bad, and the ugly on the TCL 32R84 1400 zoned HVA 4K 165Hz gaming monitor. Today I bring you my review covering the brightness, a UFO test, the monitor menu, an exaggerated blooming test, and I'll be describing how the picture quality looks with this matte coating. Starting off with the unboxing, here we have a generic cardboard box, but one thing I really love is that they added an extra foam layer to the front screen. The front screen is protected by styrofoam, but there's a cushioning foam, so when it's in shipment, moving in the car, the overall monitor is protected. This is the first I've seen this, and it's a very welcome addition. You have the power adapter and all the cables to get you started with this all-white stand and backing of the monitor. Here we have the power connection, an upstream port, 2 USB downstream ports, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, 1 DisplayPort 1.4, a US Type-C with a 90-watt power delivery, and a headphone port. This 32R84 is all white from the back. It would go perfect with your all-white setup. But turn off the lights, and the power of the LED backlights, the ambient lighting, is sufficient and will brighten up your room. It's one of the brightest I've seen on a monitor. You can set your LEDs to any static color, but there are 3 options, and you'll see some throughout the video. Here we have dazzling light, and you'll be able to see later, running and breathing. Let's get all the good out of the way. One thing that's pretty funny is that if you have the TCL QM7K mini LED TV, this is its baby brother, whatever you want to call it. It's the little version, the baby version. You get what I'm saying? You'll be able to see because of the brightness, the color, the wide viewing angles, and that deep contrast. Of course, with 1400 zones, it reminds me a lot of the QM7K. Here I have a side-by-side of both of them. Seriously, it's that nice of a monitor. I'm pretty surprised. You can control the black levels in SDR and HDR modes, which is very good because a lot of monitors don't let you do that. So if you need that shadow detail because you think the HDR mode is crushing it, that option truly helps you. And sometimes the brightness here, before we get into the tests, can be very, very bright. I had to lower my brightness to 70. Sometimes you may see a blowout of the picture here, but that's just to show that the brightness is very powerful. You don't see any of that in person. Even at 100% brightness, it still looks beautiful, but sometimes it's just too strong. It's too bright in certain areas which you know shouldn't be that bright, so you just have to lower it a tad bit. This does feature the TCL Halo Control system. Just like the TVs, an advanced technology suite that includes a powerful light-emitting microchip, super condensed micro lens, micro OD reduced optical distance, and a high-contrast HVA panel for a stunning halo-free image. Now I would say that's very true. I almost don't see no blooming, only in certain situations. Say, on a black screen where you have your cursor moving, you see little flickers of the, I would say, zones turning on. If you've been following the channel, the Xiaomi had that, but it was really bad on the Xiaomi. Here I can deal with it, there's no problem. But from PC to console gaming, there has been no issue. Here quickly with the Xbox, all the settings are enabled, can be enabled. And as you can see here by the general 4K TV details, everything is lit up, check marked, and you're good to go. But this TV does get very bright and is very colorful. Here we are featuring 96% of the DCI-P3 color coverage. One thing that I do have to state, and which may bum out a lot of people, is that this coating is like a Neo G8. Maybe not as strong, because with the Neo G8 I tested Alan Wake and I can see the pearl sheen when looking at a headlight. This not so much, but it's a tad bit there still. So I would say this is one of the strongest matte coatings I have seen on a monitor. Maybe because it's 32 inches, I'm noticing it more versus a 27 that I've been recently testing. I mean, you can see everything coming across the screen is crystal clear, looks beautiful, it's perfect. The colors, the brightness, the saturation, and the contrast. Next to no blooming. I mean, everything's almost perfect. But the coating, I really wish they would have used a semi-gloss or semi-matte if you have to. This coating, to me, is a little bit too strong. And again, I just want to make sure everyone knows that. You may need that coating for your workplace. But that's the major ugly thing I would say of this monitor. The coating is on the strong side. Lower than the Neo G8, but stronger than the KTC or Curry monitors that I've been testing. The KTC M27P6 and the Curry 2741LM. Here on the TCL 32R84, it is stronger. Here you can see the dazzling backlight. This is a really cool feature. I love when my monitors have these kinds of things because I really do use them. I really do see them depending on where I have my monitor in my room. So this is a very good option. Very bright. Many monitors don't feature that, and you may like this. It has some pretty good viewing angles. I wouldn't say the best, nothing like OLED, but I would say a good 2 to 3 people wide, you're fine. 4, 5, 6, the picture does start to degrade a bit. Here I'll have 2 videos tilted at an angle so you can see the differences. Of course, the full saturation, color, and brightness look perfect from head on, At an angle, it does degrade a tad bit, but regardless, everything is popping. Here with the brightness test, here at 2%, we have 653 nits, 5%, 1081 nits, 10%, 1311 nits, 25%, 1565 nits, 50%, 1680 nits, and at a 100% window, all pixels lit up, 880 nits. As you can see, not quite as bright as the Curry, but it's still fantastic, especially at this size. With the local dimming, you can have it on high, medium, or low, or just off. Again, personally, I do like it on medium. On high, it may dim the picture a tad too much overall, the surrounding scene, but medium is a perfect, middle ground. You still get the highlights, and you still get the peaks. And here with the bad, I would say the speed of the panel is not as fast as a Neo G7 or Neo G8. Again, friends, I'm only relying on what I have and what I've been able to see. I have had no problems gaming, watching sports, movies, anything on this monitor. It's fast enough, it's way faster than a Neo G7 43-inch model mini LED. Many people complain about that smear on that TV, but it's awesome for the value and the money you're paying. But here I would say this is faster, but not quite as fast as a Neo G7 or Neo G8 32-inch monitor. Those are still the fastest VA panels I have seen. But as you can see here, there is a trail at 165 Hz. But no way does it degrade the picture or does the picture smear when you're playing any game, especially a dark game. That's why I'm trying to put up as many videos as possible to help you, so you can see that difference. Here's another LED ambient setting. This is called breathing. Here, turning off all the lights in my room and at an angle so you can see the blooming or how the mini LED works. And I think it works fantastic. Yes, we know this is not OLED. It has 1,400 zones. I think it handles it perfectly, and I'll have many more versus videos showcasing in certain scenarios how the mini LED technologies work from different monitors. But I think it looks pretty cool. But when you're gaming and watching TV, everything is very contrasty, very inky. Here's a couple of more scenes showing to see if we can see that halo or blooming. I don't think the mini LEDs here will bother anybody, and it may be a big improvement to what you currently own. Here, covering the monitor menu. In game mode, we have all the options here for the ambient light, to the response time, and the dark part brightening, which is called the black levels. Under display, we control local dimming with the brightness and the contrast and the sharpness. Under color, we can set the color temperature, the saturation, the color tone, the color space. Here under scenario mode, there are a couple of options that you can, save your preset to. I just kept it on standard. Here's the input for all your input selections, picture-in-picture and by picture mode, and the settings for your shortcut keys and the volume and the KVM. This does have speakers, friends, and they're pretty good. I would say better than the Odyssey G80 SD, probably one of the better speakers I've heard from all the monitors. It's sufficient, especially for the size. There is no, I would say, heavy bass to it, but it's not tinny, so that's good. I would say it's a good mid-ground. The mids are pretty clear. It gets the job done. Sure, you'll still need a soundbar, but it gets the job done. So friends, there you have it. The TCL 32R84 gaming monitor with 1,400 zones, an HVA panel, at 4K 165 Hz. One of the best monitors I have tested on this channel. But again, you do have to get over that strong matte coating, and I would say an above average HVA panel, but not the best. But I would say the price point reflects that. MSRP is $799, so it's understandable it's not the over $1,000 we paid back then for a Neo G8 or Neo G7. You get what I'm saying? And on a sale, it's even better. So you are getting a lot of value. Especially, like I said, to me this reminds me of a baby QM7K. I just wish that they wouldn't have gone as strong with the coating. That's the only major issue I have here. The HVA panel is fine. I haven't had any problems gaming or watching movies, no smearing, no nothing. The brightness is awesome, the color. It's just the coating. The coating is a bit too strong for, at least for me, that I like to sit sometimes closer to my monitors, say 3 feet, 2 feet. You know, you're moving around in your desk and stuff, and then you want to just game Civilization, or you're playing something, a first-person shooter, you sit back, you go forward and front and back, forth, whatever, and you can see that, pearl sheen, and that's something that I don't really like. That's the biggest point of this monitor, and I'm really making sure I make that point across, because that's the only thing you're not going to like about this monitor. Everything else, a brightness cannon, beautiful colors, next to no blooming, with that awesome Halo Control system. The speakers are nice. You get an amazing amount of features, especially the dark levels in SDR and HDR modes. And then the ambient lighting in the back is awesome. There's a lot to like about this monitor, except the coating. So, there you have it, friends. I hope this video was able to help you decide if you like this monitor or not, if you should be on your radar. It's a beautiful monitor, just hampered by that coating. Again, It's almost as Neo G8-ish strength. The matte coating on the Odyssey G80 SD is nicer. I'm just trying to give you some options so you can see where I'm coming from and how strong this coating is. Can I play on this all day? Of course I can. And I will, because I needed a 32-inch mini LED monitor with that brightness power. It's way brighter than my Odyssey G80 SD. If you want to see that video, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Sometimes we just need that brightness in our life, and this monitor delivers. Friends, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you want more videos just like this one. Reviews, previews, gameplay videos, and everything in between. Only found here on Victor's Reality. Thanks for watching, friends. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys next time.